Hi all. Today let us look at these three stocks: ITC, Karnataka Bank Limited, Shanthi Gears as part of the Wyckoff Analysis. These three stocks were requested to do a Wyckoff Analysis by the followers. So what I'm going to do today, I take a look at each of these Indian stocks, their history for the 20 to 25 years. What is the price action showing, and what kind of decision that we can make it if we hold this stock, or if you would like to enter a new position on the stocks, and what we can do as an trader or investors. So first, let us start with ITC stock. Let me open the ITC stock and walk you through what's really happening in the last 25 years. So what you see here is almost the year starting from 2006 to 2026. It's a monthly chart. The chart shows the price actions alone, along with the volume. What you see at the bottom, yellow and sorry, the red and black bars are volume bars, and each of this candle, white or red, is a 1 month candle. So if you look at a very high level, the stock being in sideways for a very long time, almost like from 2006 to year 2022, the price were between the range of somewhere around 70 rupees to the maximum of 300 plus. The stock was but not has any a real the 45-degree up move. The stock was in sideways for a quite a long time. But when the year 2020, where the stock was tested after the long sideways actions, then you can see the very high volume year 2021 and end of 22. The volume was more than 300 million for almost every month. So this is a kind of area where the major accumulation happened by smart money with a huge volume. So once this accumulation was completed, then the stock started moving up. So beginning of the year 20, I think this is a March 2020, where you have the COVID crash. Thereafter, the stock went for a year till 2021. Then the stock was in sideways between 138 and 200. But once it got broke out at the year beginning of 2022, the stock went from 176 rupees to reaching the 500 rupees on beginning of 2025. But what happened after that? Let us look at the next two weekly chart. But if you look this monthly chart of ITC, ITC was in sideways for several years, and starting 2020, the stock was in markup phase. It went uptrend. Then very recently, from year 2024 to 2026, the stock again moved in sideways. But what you recently see here is a distribution character. So let's move to the weekly chart and then see what is happening. If you look at this is a weekly chart. So what I have done it, I have taken only the last 5 years of weekly chart. Here, every volume bar, either a black or red, represents the volume on a weekly basis. Similarly, every candle is represents a 1 week. So starting January 2022, the price was in markup phase. We know in Wyckoff we have a markup, accumulation, markdown, and then uh, yeah, markup. Then you have a distribution, and then the markdown, and then the accumulation. That's how it is. The cycle is. So what you see here is a markup which started from year 2022 January. Price went from 176 rupees to reaching around 458. So this uptrend got stopped by an action where you can see the red shaded box. The price started moving from upward to a sideways. So during this is the phase where we have already seen many of the case studies when sideways price action, if you observe in a chart, either it could be an accumulation by a smart money, or the smart money may be distributing the stock. But looking at very closely with the Wyckoff principles like effort versus results and demand versus supply, cost versus build. So we have three principles that we will apply on every chart and then understand what's happening really. So what I have done for ITC, look at the weekly chart for starting from 2023, somewhere around mid of the year, the stock started going in sideways. So the price was just in sideways action between 370 price range to the 450, 460. What you see in the red box is basically the previous markup which got stopped. That's the phase A, as you know, in Wyckoff analysis. A trend has to be stopped first, and then that happens, then stock goes on the sideways. During this sideways action, after the trend gets stopped, basically a cost will get built. So that means either it is an accumulation or the distribution, the smart money or the composite operator as per Wyckoff terminology, they will be in action to either absorb the stock without a common the weekends, knowing that they are doing accumulation or the distribution, they will do a market manipulation on this yellow highlighted area. So this is the area where in which the cost is getting built. So once the build, after they have some position, they have some strategy, they slowly accumulate the stocks or they distribute the stock. At the end, they have to make a test to ensure that their campaign is coming to an end, and then uh, kind of like their accumulation or the distribution is nearing to an end. So they have to do a test. That's what you're seeing it here. The ITC stock went from markup to sideways. The trend got stopped, and then the cost got built for a quite some time. And what is very recently, the beginning of 2026, it's happening is the test which is happening. So the test could be kind of a different kind of a test will be executed by smart money or the composite operator. So one type of test could be kind of a shakeout, where a sudden price fall will make the normal weak traders, weak hands, uh, to get out of the stock, and they exit by panic selling. So exactly that is what it is happening right now. So it doesn't give us any confirmation yet. Either it will continue the downtrend or it will go further up. That's a question mark now. But we are reached a phase where the test is in the progress. So in upcoming another video, I can wait and tell you what is really happening after this test. So that's where we can take a decision further we want to really get into this stock to buy, or if you hold it, and if you are in a plan to distribute, sell it the stock, is this the right time to do it or not? All we have to wait until how this test is getting further executed by incoming weeks. So let us stop here, the ITC analysis here. The takeaway from this analysis, the stock is kind of in after a period of 3 4 years of sideways. Right now this is being tested by the sudden price fall. This is looks like at this moment, if you look at the volume, it is indicating that it is above average, somewhere around 450 million, and the last 4 5 bars are very high volume, even the price is falling down. So that's where the cheap price, the large investors are accumulating the stock. So this looks a kind of a test, but this test has to be validated again. So we have to wait and see, is this going to further go down or it will go up. But generally when I have this kind of a conditions, I can find out what is the distribution count that gives me a direction. So what I have done by looking at this, the sideways movement, I can make a distribution count which I have calculated here. If you look at this uh, counting mechanism, where I have taken a count for the upthrust, we call it as upthrust after distribution, UTAD. So from that position to the where the sign of weakness, looking at the distribution count, it exactly gives me a hint that the price can reach 316 to 356 from the top of 500. So what I could see, the price went below 316 and then it went much below around 286, and then it is trying to stabilize here. So this indicates the stock will be in a bit of reached its final testing target, and then this could lead to this test has to happen in another week, couple of weeks or a months. Then it will find out it bottom and it will further move up. But this has to be patiently need to wait and watch what is exactly happening before any new position to enter. But this is not the time to enter into the stock if you want to buy at this price. It looks cheap, but still we have to wait and see what is the right entry later. But for me, the count looks, we already distribution is coming to an end. That means the markdown phase is almost, downtrend is coming to a closure, and then the sideways action has been started for ITC. Okay, let's move to the next stock, which I want to talk about is Karnataka Bank Limited. So let me open the chart for Karnataka Bank. First, look at the history of the stock. So what you could see here is like almost 25 years of the chart. Again, this is a monthly chart, and until 2020, again, this is very similar to ITC. The stock was before COVID. The price was in the range between somewhere around 120 to 34 to 20. So the range is very clear. The stock is quite long in sideways. I mean, if anybody bought this stock somewhere in 2005 or 2006 in the range of 29, the price didn't given them any real benefit of moving up. If they even in March 2020, if they have simply kept it holding, the stock is going up and down for almost 10 15 years without really generating any wealth for them. So this is how the Karnataka Bank's history shows for the last 25 years. But what is really changed when the year 2020, after the COVID crash, the stock going up, markup. You can see from 2022 the price went till 270, and then usually, as you know, any stock never goes always high. This has to go through cycles. So as per Wyckoff, we have after the markup, so generally a distribution occurs, and then or the reaccumulation can happen, and then again based on how that action happens during a distribution or a reaccumulation, the stock may go up again or go down. So but what you could see here for the last from year 2024, 2025 and 2026, we need to look at closely on this area of price action along with the volume to see is this stock is in going forward, is in going to achieve the uh, target in upper or side, or it is going to be in the downside. So let me again take into the weekly time frame, so there we will get more clarity. So this chart shows you the 3-4 years of the price actions. So what was happening the beginning of year or the mid of year 2022, the stocks started going up, and there is a preliminary supply which with a high volume. This is basically says that the trend is going nearing to an end. That is basically it is like distribution was started at this place, supply was there, price was not able to go further up, and then the sideways action started where the trend gets stopped, and price is in the sideways movement between around 240 to 250, and then the range is somewhere around 150. If you look at the red highlighted area is the previous markup has stopped, trend gets stopped here by phase A, and then the cost is getting built over almost mid of year 2023 to close to uh, mid of 2025. Almost 2 years of cost got built, which is highlighted in the yellow shaded box. And very recently, like end of 2025 to sometime around September, October, November timeframe, there was a test happened. And look at this very high volume price action. I made the pink arrow to show that that volume was somewhere around 140 million. But in an average, it is less than 20 million. But at this area, very huge interest this stock has come in for a Karnataka bank. Look at November month end, like this 3-4 weeks, month of mid of November, December. There is a huge volume, which is around 40 million on average, and then one particular bar shows this is like 140 million. See, this is the kind of actions gives us the clarity, like there is a smart money or a composite operators, the big players are coming in, strong hands are coming and then buying the stock exactly to match with that during this phase. What you see here, the blue crossing line, which is on the resistance area, we call that as a creek. So I have made a separate educational video. What is this jump across the creeks? Basically, you are trying to the supply is always there whenever it touches this resistance line, so the price goes down. So you can see that whenever it touched this blue line, it goes down. The price touches there and then goes down, and it touches there and then it goes down. But when this high volume was coming in, it is clearly the price bar is price action and then the volume is in harmony. That means when the high volume effort, the result also very high. So that means the price is able to negotiate this supply, and then it is can jump across that supply, which is the called as jump across the creek, where the price went up. So this is a clear indication that the Karnataka Bank is started its a new uptrend. So this area we call the phase C test is completed with the jump across the creeks. This is a change of character, and the price again trying to come back and touch its earlier resistance as a support, and again it is going back. So by looking at this, this is a very good candidate for long-term investors to enter this position. I mean, it is a long-term investment. If it is a short-term trader, again, this has to be looked at what is really happening for a medium term. But for a long-term investor, this looks kind of an signal that the accumulation has been completed for the last 4 or 5 years, and then the stock is trying to go up by completing the jump across the creek, and it touched its LPS. It's a last point of support. So this is looks good to make a investment for a long term. But what could be the price target that we can expect on this based on this sideways action? So the build is done, the cost get built over there, but what is the effect of this area it got accumulated? So again, I have computed by looking at the accumulation done for year 2025 to 2026. This is the area, just it's a partial count I have made it. So even though accumulation is done for more than this area, but I have counted only logically where it can make sense. With this, I could see easily the price can go from 346 rupees to a 372. Also, we can see that the price currently in 201 rupees. So, and it gives a very good technical indication of the context of Wyckoff context. It shows a very high volume and jumped the creek area of supply with a very high volume, and then prices keep coming and touching that LPS. This is a very good indication that stock will go further up for next few weeks, months, and years. This can go and touch, as I mentioned, this particular target 346 to 372. But we cannot predict how long that time it takes to reach this target. But the stock looks in a good technical context. The stocks can go and reach that in coming months and years. So that's it with Karnataka Bank. Let's jump into the last one, Shanthi Gears. So again, I will look at the monthly for the last 25 years, what happened. This stock was from 2005 to till today is at least there was no long accumulations or long sideways action. This stock is always shows some indication that the stock keep going up from the price it listed from somewhere around 26 to somewhere around 20 rupees. Stock today trades at 689, or this area somewhere around 600 plus rupees. This stock is trading in 2026. But the stock history shows that the stock is in accumulation term sign, highlighted yellow area boxes, and also it is on the reaccumulation areas where the sideways actions you can see that. After that, the cost, this yellow area where the cost is built, then the effect is always to the price to go up. Again, you can see from 2014 to 2020, the stock is in sideways, and then it got the clear uptrend starting from again. This is again a COVID 2020, the price went and touched 52 rupees, and the stock is in markup for till 689 at the highest. This happened on mid of 2024. So looking at this stocks is a very I mean, the nature of the price action always shows that even though the price is takes the pass for years, but ultimately it comes back and goes up in the direction. So that's the pink arrow gives an direction for a long term strategy. So let us look at very closely what is happening very recently on last 3 4 years, the highlighted yellow box. Okay, so this is looks very similar to what we have just seen in the Karnataka Bank. So the stock is in markup starting from somewhere what is you see in this chart in the green arrow. Stock was going up until somewhere around mid of 2022. It touched at one stage. There was a preliminary supply started coming up, and then the stock is further unable to go up. Sideways action started. So the year 2023, it's a clear sideways action happening in the weekly chart, and stock pushed even though it is in kind of a distribution started, where whenever the price is going up started distributed by the strong hands, and the cost is getting built over quite some time. So 689.47 rupees and then 657.12. This technically in the Wyckoff analysis is called upthrust after distribution. Okay, so it's basically area where the maximum stocks are getting distributed by strong hands to the weak hands. So the yellow area, the stock is started getting distributed, quite nicely. You can see the price bars very. The red bars are wider than the white bars. That's an indication that the distribution is happening very actively, and also the but started noticing from year 2025, I have made it as this blue arrows to indicate what is really happening on when the price touches at the lowest low, like around somewhere around 3 400, there is a volume. Look at other times, the volumes were somewhere around less than 1 million. But when the price touches at the lowest low, there is almost like good interest came in by the large investors or the people who are observing the stock. The volume has shown the indication that the stock is getting observed. I have made it as in the blue arrows. So look at all the high volume areas. The stock is getting further accumulated by the large investors. This arrow shows that when the trend is going up, the volume is going up. This is a harmony in action. There is an educational video made again here. So there are different way that volume and price can be analyzed. So this is a analysis where volume of the upswing matches with the price action while it is going up. So, but what is happening after this cost belt very recently? We are kind of a testing here, but the test is not yet concluded. You can see the volume is shown a very high volume at this price bar, but the test is not yet concluded yet. So there is no decision can be taken at this moment. If you hold this stock, we have to wait and see what is really happening, or if you want to make a new entry here, we need to wait and see what is this test performs. This is again like not a very clear indication like what Karnataka banks gives us to buy, but it's kind of like what I have conveyed to you in the ITC stock. So we cannot take a decision at this point in time because ITC also looks very similar to the test is happening. No guarantee at this moment to enter. This not shows a very good entry point at this time. Similar way, Shanthi Gears also looks, the test is in progress, but if you hold this stock, looks you can just hold it because this is a long term, it's a good stock to hold. And the sideways action is almost nearing to an end. That means the stock is no longer going to be in sideways. It has to complete its test and then has to go up. What kind of a test happens, that we have to wait and see. It is going to be either it is in a distribution or it could be in a reaccumulation, that we need to wait and see. But there's not a time to take any new entry here. So that brings us end of this video. But I would like to again take this analysis as a educational purpose, and I'm not a financial advisor, or you have to do your own analysis before you take any sell, buy, or any decisions which you want to do it with your stocks. Keep watching, and if you have any questions, please drop it on the YouTube comments. And if you are new to this channel, do a subscription and like. Thank you.